I'll stick with that.
I'll let the commenters get you.
Oh man, get me, and share this video.
Please do,
and like it. Appreciate
double
that,
time.
Man. Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast with your brother, Oh God, and SamAnt sitting over there across the table from me, man. We on a new set today. We are truly excited because you guys made it possible by engaging the content, liking the content, commenting, and sharing the content. Please continue to do so. Your boy Joe Budden saying, man, you know, he was on his podcast. Shout out to them brothers over there doing their thing. He was talking about the situation between Diddy and Mace, the publishing situation. I'm gonna play a little bit of what he said, but a lot of people think that he's pretty much riding the fence or even siding more so with Diddy.
Let's hear it.
Let's check it out.
But it didn't go anywhere. It didn't do anything. Nobody heard it. Nobody didn't sell. We can look it up. I remember it vividly. Not Double Up Soul. It was successful. Maybe I'm wrong. Look up what Double Up Sold. You're wrong. Look up what Double Up Sold. That's successful. It wasn't far. It was like a year after that or 2 years.
Okay, but in publishing stance, one album is really what's gonna matter.
One album went. Double Up did whatever Savon's about to tell me it did, and then you went away. You didn't fight. It was gold. As was Welcome Back in 2004.
107 at that time was not that good.
Gold at the time is not that good when you're coming off of however many times platinum album Harlem World was. But it doesn't matter. My point is, I don't care about that. My point is, you left. Mm-hmm. You didn't go up there and do the fight. We heard a bunch of stories from the Locks. Mm-hmm. We heard a bunch of stories from some other people. Mm-hmm. Mace just disappeared. Mm-hmm. If you're not gonna fight for your own shit, what do you want somebody to do?
Well, this is what he's saying. He's saying now he's like, yo, obviously there's been conversations over the years where he's been trying to make it right. So he's saying like, yeah, like, you know, absolutely, but we respect your work and what you did.
No, they haven't. You was at the Icon Awards with them.
No, they've had talks about business.
Fam, if you're holding my publishing and we're beefing about it, I'm not at the awards with you.
Well, he just said it.
I'm not at the comeback tour with you. Like, that's me.
No, that's complicated though, because sometimes
I'm saying it's me. Again, I don't know the behind the scenes. He might have been paid. I don't know none about
it. He might have been paid. Also, if he's trying to make a move in music, that would be a huge look for him that he would not be able to get as easily without it. So that's complicated. It's not fair.
All I'm going to say is I'm sure that the Harlem World publishing is worth more right now to Puff. Fiscally than it is to Mace.
I'm just saying. I understand that the bigger issue is we have to stop enslaving each other.
In general, in the music business, we have to do better business. It's the bottom fucking line.
Absolutely. And I think to that point, of course, Puff can make it better now. But even speaking to what you were taught in the music business at that age, we've heard that story a million times from Cam. Put out the horse and carriage shit. Mace said, nah, I need 40 grand to do the video and the verse. You my man, I play basketball with you. Nah, I need that.
Right.
We was taught that.
Right.
So
we're still taught that, by the way.
Yeah, but I agree with more. You can unlearn it and change it.
That is also the other side of the story being told too, which is, hey, be careful out there. Watch what you sign. Right. There's conflicts of interest with lawyers. Yeah. Like, just be careful. For sure. That story being told too, and I don't know if that story was really being told.
That's accurate. No,
it wasn't at all. I'm speaking to the point of Puff learning how to do business in that era, and Mace the same way. He's charging his one of his closest friends from high school 40 grand for a video.
Right. The game's a game, unfortunately, but we do need to do better.
I just think that Puff gets a bad rap in terms of stealing publishing when that's a very, very common active thing right this second.
Common doesn't make
it should change.
No, I'm saying this right.
Yeah,
wait. I won't argue that because I don't know what Puff is doing today. I'm only talking about this topic.
Right.
But just before this Mace shit leaked, Khalees alleged the same thing about Pharrell.
Right.
With her first 2 albums. Nobody said a word.
I don't think people knew about that though.
They knew.
That was my first time hearing about it.
Khalees wasn't as.
I think that's a great place to stop it right there. So, man, like you're chopping at the bit to get in, man, get it in.
That ain't true, Joey. We talked about it. And it's on the Uncensored podcast. Check that out right now. But nah, listen. A lot of what Joe said, I agree with, but we all know that Joe has some vested interest in making sure he keeps Puff's name positive in his mouth. Pause. There's a couple things going on financially to where he wouldn't want to mess that up, and we know Diddy gets a little sensitive sometimes when his name gets thrown out there in negative lights. We've heard that before, even though we would let to have him on the podcast. Even still, I think that he's a mogul. I think he's a genius. I think he's made damn near $1 billion, and I would love to know how. But here's the fact of it. I think that a lot of people give Diddy a bad rap or get pissed off at Diddy is because he does one thing behind the curtain but claims to be something else when the stage is set. Like, for example, a Leo Cohen. He's in the industry. He's in the game. He's a ruthless piece of you-know-what. He's very unapologetic about how he makes his money. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows exactly how he exploits it. And his response is, hey, this is how I make money. Diddy will do it behind the scenes, but then say, we need to love. I'm going to give you guys X amount of time to show me respect. We must love each other. And it comes off a little hypocritical. And when you got people like a Mace, even though what Joe said, I agree with 100%. I don't forgot who we were talking about. Oh God, it was probably like 6-7 months ago. But I got some criticism for being a little harsh when it comes to publishing. Being a little harsh when it comes to making sure your paperwork's right and making sure your shit's straight, because every artist will tell you a story of how they got fucked over at one point or another when it comes to a contract because the music industry is shady and need to be taken over. So when I hear a Joe say, and I hear the other cat say, you got to make sure your paperwork's straight, I 100% agree with that. And I also agree with where Mace go, but it still ain't right.
It ain't right.
And that man needs his money. He put Diddy and Bad Boy on his shoulders when Big passed away. Right down the road, it was Bad Boy, Diddy and the Family, and it was them Harlem World Mace albums, them single after single after single. Mace put him on his back. He deserves his compensation.
Yeah, no matter, and then even they try to shape the argument like, okay, it was going on it happened to so many people. That makes it even worse. Now it's like, come on back. You got to write. There's no expiration date or no statute of limitations on thievery. You know what I mean? You come back, and whether you get your money or not, you make it known. And we've seen with Puff. That's what makes it so hard with Diddy. And somebody like not Fat Joe, Joe Budden. It has to be some type of interest there. Obviously, he probably, who knows how many millions that deal was worth when they was over there, Revolt and whatnot. We all know Diddy owns Revolt. We expect that from a Joe Budden, no harm, no foul. But I just think that when you see all the artists that complained over the years and Diddy really not even addressing it, just kind of just tucking his tail, maybe saying a little thing here or there, I think that it shows you a pattern of, deceitfulness and lies there, so for Makes to come out, he's 100% in his right. Now, I do agree with the aspect of him like over the years, maybe kind of keeping things on the tuck and not saying nothing. I agree with Joe Budden calling him out over that. Cause it's like, you owe me like that. I'm not going to be chilling with you, hanging out, doing nothing. It's like, give me my money. So the fact that he offered him $2 million and Diddy didn't want to give it, sell it back, obviously, because he's probably making that per year or more. So who knows? That's just the estimate. But you can't get mad at somebody. I don't care if it's 10, 20, 50 years from coming back and saying, look, somebody stole it from me. I want it back.
Let me ask you a question, because
somebody took your car and they disappeared for 10, 15 years. You still want your car.
Or my money, either or.
Right.
Let me talk about this, though, because we're both CEOs.
Yeah.
We both sit on another side of the table now. Very, very blessed to be sitting there.
Absolutely.
So when you see a situation where Mace kind of articulated when he tried to give Diddy $2 million for his publishing, and he said, you got to give me at least what that Jewish dude, the European dude, is giving me. And now we hear the numbers that the dude was between $2 million and $80 million. As a businessman, it only makes sense to go and get that investment back. But when you're almost holding it ransom, it reminds me of Europeans. But what do you think to that? Is Diddy justified sitting in that entrepreneurial seat, or do you think that he deserves to come off of that entrepreneurial seat and just have a little morality and come up off of some of that bread? Even if it is him taking an L in the yearly quarters, but morals, doing right. You know what I'm saying?
Scruples, whatever you call them, integrity, often when millions of dollars come and get tossed out the window. You know what I mean? It's ultimately about, not saying that it's right, it's ultimately about the dollar, getting as much you can, accumulating that wealth. I would say that he should come clean on it. And if he rightfully, set up the deal, structure the deal where he's supposed to own a part of the publishing, Mace didn't really know the game, you can kind of chalk it up to that. But if this is, a situation where you've done him wrong, I think that in the interest of harmony, you should come back to the table and say, okay, I'll give you maybe not this, but maybe this. Is he going to do it? Probably not.
Hell no.
Probably not. Probably most likely
Hell
not.
No.
And I don't blame him. It's a cutthroat industry, and that's why it's so important to know what you're getting into before you get into it, because that's just the way business is in this world. You sign a mortgage, and you say you're supposed to pay for 30 years. You don't pay. They're gonna attach that to your name because you said they're not gonna listen to a sob story. Well, I didn't know that I had to owe this if I got evicted. No. They want it. When you get a car note, you don't pay it. They come to get the car. This is the way the world is. So in that regard, you can't have no sympathy for them. You got to know what you're getting into. Now, from the way they were talking about it on the podcast, they were pretty much saying that Diddy kind of structured it to where it could be like he was supposed to get majority of the publishing. Anyway, I don't know the music business that well to know. Is that a snake move to you? Or somebody?
Yeah, it's a snake move.
All right, then.
But see, and the thing is, it's like, You maneuver that, but and let me tell you why it's a snake move. It's not a snake move if you go ahead and do it to a veteran that's supposed to understand his paperwork, know what's going on.
Right.
And you go ahead and throw that within the contract. If you ain't got no lawyer, if you ain't got nobody looking over your shit and telling you, shame on you and your lawyer. But as a 19-year-old kid in Harlem, starving, you got Diddy coming at you. You already know what he's about, and he structures paperwork, and you see what he got going on. You don't care what's going on in that contract. All you want to do is sign. Now, hey, you got to put your big boy pants on. You know what you signed up for. But when you think back and you basically did it to a child, you manipulated that situation. That's where the morality of it's kind of fucked up. But it is the business. So it's kind of like, all right, know your business, know your paperwork. But what do you say to that 19-year-old that's starving, that sees Diddy roll up in a Rolls Royce and he gets up in there? I understand.
But then you put yourself in harm's way. You know what I mean? If people believe in karma, or whatever, not wishing no harm on nobody, but sometimes people take things into their own hands. You got to remember, you're doing this to guys that came out of the street and whatnot, and people who have came some real hard times. So ultimately, I think what Mace and others can just take it as a lesson learned, take it on the chin. But it's one of those things where it's like, nah, like this is like my catalog of life, like Harlem World. Like I should be receiving, the fruits of my labor, my residual labor that I put in. Then the argument as well, would Mace have ever even got there without Diddy? We can argue that all day. Most people probably say probably not. Diddy was big at the time, but then again, Mace blew Diddy up as well, even more at the time.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean,
shiny suits and shit. He wasn't in them videos by himself. Mace was right there with him.
Absolutely. And he was definitely a flow and a spitter and all that. So, I'm glad that Mace ultimately called it out. And if somebody's hypocritical in the industry, and like you said, showing one thing but doing stuff behind the scenes, you damn right better call him out.
You got to call him out.
Definitely.
It's only right to call him out, and I'm glad that he is, even though a lot of people are going to give him criticism, and this is where if Mace is serious about this situation, he'll get vocal with it and explain it and expound on it more, because a lot of people are going to talk about, good night, baby. I'm saying good night to my daughter real quick. But a lot of people are going to go ahead and go, all right, but you went and dipped off and you went to go preaching and then you came back. And then last time we heard about you, you was beefing with Cam. And now it's a perfect time for you to come out right off the heels of Diddy's speech to go ahead and what about Mace again? You got to talk about it, expound on it.
Right.
That's just my thing.
Definitely. So, once, on Diddy, if he does respond to that, which I don't think he will definitely provide you, with the further update on that particular story right there. Well, speaking of calling somebody out, saying, man, I'm going to call you out, man. A little Wayne.
Oh, man.
Right now in front of the people. He didn't make our mural. Maybe one day he will. I think he's big enough to.
He better be lucky he didn't make our mural. You see the people in our mural, God rest their souls. There's only a few of them alive.
Yeah.
Cube, Havoc.